if you tune into the news, you're stupid if you do, but if you do, there's a hell of a lot of negativity and bad news going on. And we are extremely fortunate that within this little compound that we've all been a part of, there's consistently inspiring stories. Like, there are phenomenal things happening on this island, and it's important that we share that and all in turn get inspired. We're all, this situation has created opportunities. With a little bit of inspiration, we can all open our minds to that. And we are all capable of extraordinary things, every single one of us. So the idea is that we invite people that have done some extraordinary things or are planning to do so they can share their story a little, and we can all get inspired. So the format is, we've got 2 amazing guests today. We're going to have 20 minutes for each guest. We're going to try and keep it tight on time. So TEDx is done in 20 minutes. That's some of the biggest ideas on the planet. And if you can't do it in 20 minutes, then maybe you need to write some better notes. So without further ado, the first guest is Susie Pearl. So we can give her a quick round of applause, please.
Hi, Sam.
Hello, Susie.
I'll try and get up here. Ooh, hello, everyone.
Yeah, everyone's here. They're all looking
Nice
this way.
to see all these nice faces. All right, okay.
So thank you very much, Susie, for joining us.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's kind of nice to feel normal, a bit normal, isn't it?
It is.
Get-togethers, nice.
It really is. So obviously we've invited you today to share a little bit about yourself and your story. You've also got a phenomenal book out, which we'll talk a little bit about. But I think for the people that don't know you, I would just like if you could start with a little bit of an introduction about yourself and maybe, just start there, please.
Shall I?
Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone. A lot of you know me anyway. Susie Pearl is my name. I've been a writer for quite a long time. Got a few books that I've had come out on food and well-being and health and mental health and happiness being, how to get happy. And I had a celebrity PR agency in London and lived some mad years of working at MTV and looking after Madonna and Michael Jackson and all sorts of...
You can't just gloss over that.
Crazy things.
Oh, and then there was this other guy.
Yeah. But,
Tell us a little bit about one of those stories, please.
Right. Well, my first day at MTV, they asked me to... They said, how are you good with flying? I went, yeah, it's cool. And they said, okay, can you get on a flight and go to New York this afternoon? And we've got the Video Music Awards, and we'd like you to look after an artist there. I said, yeah, cool. And I'd had a bit of a reputation for getting on well with people. I can kind of level wherever it takes. And I'd done a bit of celebrity stuff, so I didn't know who I was going to look after. And I tip up to Radio City, and I opened the door, and they said, your artist's in there. You've got to look after him and not let him... disappear when we need him for the rehearsals. And I walked in, and there's Michael. He says, hi, I'm Michael Jackson. I'm like, I know who you are.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah. How do you spell that? Michael, right?
Yeah. And he said, do you mind if I dance? I said, no, you're Michael Jackson. You do what you like.
You can do what you want. Amazing.
So, that was my entree. And, I just got on well with these people. And that took me on a journey to happiness, to find out what happiness and success is all about. Because I was working with these people who are at the top of the game and real genius types, doing really well, and many of them weren't happy. And I often wondered why.
Yeah.
What is it? What do we need to have? You've got the helicopters, you've got the Learjets, you've got the platinum everything, and tours, filling stadiums, and then you're not happy. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting to me and took me on a journey to find out about happiness. And then I found out it's inside yourself. Okay. And wrote a book about that happiness, instructions for happiness and success, which I think is one of my greatest things, separate to giving birth to my beautiful son. I think that book is amazing, and mind technology has always been of interest to me.
Yeah, so with your story of writing, so you were writing press releases for pop stars and whatnot, and that's where you really started to carve out your craft?
Well, actually, I work with Paul McKenna, a hypnotist, who's a best-selling author. He's actually the highest non-selling author in the UK, and I was his MD, and they were teaching NLP and hypnosis, so I became like a master hypnotist.
Yep.
And one day I was in the office and he was banging out this book, and he's great, Paul, full of ideas, really creative, really on all the time. And he said, darling, we need to finish this chapter this afternoon for the publishers. Can you just sort of knock something together? And I went, yeah, fine. He's giving me stuff all the time to do, and he was writing this book called I Can Make You Rich. So he said, I want us to go to Monaco to just finish that last chapter and hang out with really rich people. And I said, fine. So I started writing this chapter, and it went into the book. And the book became a bestseller.
Okay.
So that was my entree, really, that afternoon of just saying yes to everything.
Amazing. So take us back. When was that? When
I don't know. I don't have it in memory anymore.
Okay. Right.
I had an illness which took out my memory, which actually makes me a nicer person because I can't remember, I'm not thinking, oh, they said that to me, because I can't remember.
Okay.
So I'm meeting everyone for the first time. So it's probably why, I can navigate through life because I don't really have the past is not only behind me, but it's gone.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I can remember
I've also got a fantastically bad memory.
Yeah,
as
but
well.
it's very helpful because I've lost all my fear and angst because I can't remember what to get mad about.
Yeah, amazing.
And that is nice.
I think
nice.
there's I just want to kind of touch a little bit more on your career because there's a couple of things that are super inspiring.
Yeah.
One of them was you guys did a concert in Russia, right?
Yeah, we did a big concert in Red Square. We took the Prodigy, which was they hadn't got any template for doing big events.
This is back when the Iron Curtain was still or just come down, or
it was around that time.
Yeah.
And we packed Red Square, and I was working at MTV, working with Paul Morrison, Will's dad, which is where we kind of really got inspired each other because he's a really big thinker, Paul, and he was friends with, bless him, the lead singer who sadly took his life.
Yeah.
And we travelled a lot around with the band, and he had this vision to take them to Red Square and show Moscow what, punk and anarchy looks like.
Well,
and we took that, and we were greeted, we had to carry around hundreds of thousands of US dollars in suitcases to get anything done, to get film out of photographers and to get into hotels and out of hotels and to get all our kit through customs. It cost us a fortune. But I also called up MTV and said, we're doing this amazing show. And so we went out worldwide on MTV, which had never happened before, and to every network on the planet. And it was a massive hit. We had the great music director, Hamish Hamilton, who's like the best in his craft, and did an amazing show. And so that was pretty awesome. Keith Flint at the front there, in front of all these kind of Moscow crowds. And that was a moment in my career. I looked out at this sea of faces on the stage. I was on the side of the stage checking, fingers crossed, everything was going to work and we weren't going to be asked for more. Every moment I was getting a phone call with being asked for like another 100,000
more cash
for
situation.
handing over some film or whatever. So that was a big moment that we pulled that off.
Amazing.
And it was dangerous. We had guys with guns in the back seat to look after us.
What
it was
a story.
like some sort of mad movie. Actually, I sometimes think back and go, did that actually happen?
Yeah. Amazing. So fast forward now. Obviously, you've written, like you said, one of the books that you're most proud about.
Yeah, Instructions for Happiness and Success. It's a good book. It's about mind technology. It's about how to run your brain. And I learned a lot from Paul McKenna and Richard Bandler. Richard invented neuro-linguistic programming. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, it's about controlling your thoughts, your anxieties, using your brain, your language, linguistics, and programming. We're basically a computer with loads of programs.
And if you don't direct the narrative, then
and you've got to manage your own brain. And most of us have not got. They teach us all this crap at school, and they don't teach you how to organise your brain so you don't upset yourself. Yeah. Which seems to me a fundamental to teach children. I know there's a lot of people here who are working on children projects, and for me, schools education is the most important area for us to go forwards. This lockdown has taught us a lot, and we're primed for change right now. It's a time of great change and great transformation. A lot of people are upset, a lot of people are anxious, a lot of people are fearful about the future. We need to help our children to know how to live their lives, how to run their brains, and how to feel better about themselves in the world, and not to run around in fear. We're not meant to be
Scared.
full of anxiety
Yeah,
and fear.
sure.
But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
switch the news on, bam.
Yeah, it's
you know,
there,
they're
right?
wiring you for that.
think
So we have to get antidotes to this, and there are antidotes.
For sure, and I think we're very lucky in our Ibiza bubble, aren't we? That we don't,
Yeah.
you know, tune in so much to
We
that
don't
stuff.
tune in, but we are still aware. And actually,
course.
hopefully, we're a group of change makers who can make changes in the world.
Most definitely.
With all of the things we're going to talk about tonight, with good food, farming, organic food, health, well-being, community is the most important thing. I got really ill 2 years ago. I lost my car in Ibiza. I didn't know where I'd parked. My neighbour said to me, I'm a bit worried about you. You've been acting a bit weird, more strange than normal. And I couldn't find my car for like a day. And I was like, wow, I had no idea where it was. And so they wheeled me off to a bio-resonance person, Burkitt, who did some stuff on my brain and said there's something big going on with your brain. They forced me right down to go down to Ibiza town, to the hospital. This is someone who I won't pop an aspirin.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very anti going to see doctors. Anyway, I went there and they did an MRI scan, humongous brain tumour.
Yeah, when was this? Sorry,
This
just
was
to give a
in-
bit of context. This is
was
recent,
2
right?
years ago.
2 years ago.
And I went down to the Rosario. They were fantastic. And they said, you know, you're going to die in 6 weeks. Make arrangements.
Yeah.
So
Looks like you made some.
I made some arrangements.
Susie Pearl.
So, but you know what? I knew I wasn't going to die. I knew it. I had this and I'd learned a lot about intuition, listening to the voice inside your head, all those years of working on mind technology.
Yeah.
And like, I had this voice and I knew where it had come from. It's my intuition. It's my higher self saying, girl, you're not going to die. You've got a lot to do. We're not going to take you. We're not going to take you out. My son Will was also of the same feeling.
Yeah.
Everyone else was like, my practical neighbour was saying, you need to write a will, you need to write last letter to will,
Sure.
my will, and all of this. People were making arrangements, like, and I had a wake at my house. Like, I was in the hospital, and someone organised a gathering of all my friends at my house. And I looked around, it was like I was at my own funeral. With guitars, tears, poetry, you know, everyone was going what they loved about me. And it was, I visited my own funeral. I was like, holy shit. But I'd always imagined, what would it be like at my own funeral? And I actually had that in my house.
No way. That's what inspired you to keep living, right?
I thought, well, I just knew I'm not going anywhere. And I also knew that I'd got a program where you can heal. I've got a program downloaded that you can heal yourself, whatever you've got. And I did.
So just talk us through a little bit, because so it was a very significant brain tumour, right? You were
It was
told
humongous.
6 weeks.
It was going to knock me out like within a month.
Yeah.
And they told my brothers and my family, you have to get here like immediately. You don't wait a week to pack your bags. You come on the next flight.
And what kind of process? Where did you go for some other treatment as well?
The door opened and in walked into my hospital room my two brothers and my Will's dad. And there was the three like key males in my life. And I was like, oh, shit. It was like some movie of like all these people coming to see you. I thought, shit's got heavy if they were all shown up. They all got on a plane and got straight here. I was like, ah. So suddenly I thought, well, maybe, the doctors have got a point. But I just knew. Every time I thought that, this voice came in, you're not going anywhere. And so I was asked to go and have treatment, which I didn't want to have. We had a family meeting called, and they sat me down and said, girl, you are going for this treatment. Yeah. Please, please, please. And we're pleading with you. I said, all right. So anyway, what happened was the Ibiza community got together in its irresistible, beautiful way. And there was a tribe of people who got together and bought me the best CBD oil on the planet from Switzerland. Someone went out, bought it, got it, bought it back, brought it to me in the I keep calling it hotel room, in my hospital room. And I was taking this very, very carefully constructed CBD oil, which was perfect for what I had. And as I was taking it, my angels stroke intuition was saying, this is going to heal you. Yeah. This and all the green juices and all the organic food. Paloma were bringing me food every day.
Amazing.
Cangrimo were bringing me food every day. Charlie Taverner was bringing me green juices. I was surrounded by guitars, people singing and chanting. And Viviana, I saw tonight, she said, my dad wants to meet you. He was in the hospital room opposite to me. They were talking about me last night and saying, She was mad. She was just dancing and singing, had all these people around just dancing and singing in her hospital room.
Only 6 weeks left, got to enjoy myself.
Yeah, you might as well have a good time. But it was, we've got to kind of have fun and laugh our way out of these horrific situations. So I got out. The short version of the story is I came out. I got out.
You certainly have, and more full of life than ever.
Yeah, and I came out without any fear, and I came out with a creativity chip.
Yeah.
I was in hospital. I said to everyone, bring in big bits of paper and loads of coloured crayons and get my computer fixed, and I want it in here. And I started writing a book, and that's the book that's on sale.
Amazing.
And I wrote that while I was in hospital, and I was getting a channel. I look at it now, I can't even remember writing it.
Yeah,
it was
crazy.
really a download. And
So
it's a good book.
Just a little bit on the book. So it's not kind of an airy-fairy creativity book.
No,
it's kind of like an
practical.
instruction manual about how to
Really
get to
practical.
it, right? Just walk us through it a little bit.
I can't remember it now.
Okay, you've told me a few times.
The first chapter is about getting rid of fear and anxiety, which is something we probably all need to do. We've all got, I haven't, but most people who haven't been through have got a lot of fear and anxiety. So the first one is identifying it and giving you tips for how to knock that out. And then I talk about journaling, which is a really important thing, to write down how you feel.
Yeah.
And get out of your brain what's going on and write it down without editing yourself. And I talk about that. And I'm a big fan of meditation. I'd worked with David Lynch and the David Lynch Foundation for many years. And David's a big supporter of my work.
Yeah, he's given a front cover
quote,
right?
Which is handy.
Not bad. Yeah.
And
you've made it onto the Oprah book list as well,
I have,
right?
yeah.
Not bad either.
But this is
You also got to do a talk
manifestation
at the
at
Hub.
work. Yeah. I work in this dreamy place with lovely people all around. This is a dream. We are all in a dream, whether we're in a hallucinating 3D, I can't remember the word, but
Real
what's
life
the word?
or made up, I guess.
Yeah, just made up holograph. It's probably the case. It's a pretty good one. We've all made up. So everyone here has great imagination because we've found a brilliant place.
Perfect.
This is like my perfect environment. I'm just writing another book at the moment called I Lost My Mind, which is about the story. Because I want to inspire people. And I'm also writing another book at the moment with a team with Michelle Obama about nutrition for little kids in America, teaching them that organic is important. Because I'm passionate about food, organic food, keeping healthy, nutrition.
Amazing.
And, we can heal anything if we put our minds to it.
Perfect.
That's why I'm really happy Christian is here tonight to talk about what's happening in the farming scene. Because this is a very important island globally. It's full of change makers, good thinkers, people with great ideas and people acting on those ideas.
Yeah.
It's a conscious, it's a pot of conscious.
I think that's the consistent thread, right? There's everyone we're capable of making change. We've all got our own little bit that we're running towards, and we're proactively making a difference.
Yeah. And we're holding hands to do it, because no one person can crack this. 100%. We need to work together. That's why this place is so important. The day I kind of said to Christian, you need to come and have a look at this place, because it's amazing. We need it. And here is being created and incubating all these amazing ideas. And part of it is we need to lean in as a community, work together, know that we're really powerful when we all work together as a team.
Sure.
We all know what teams are like, but we have a team on the island. And when I was ill, I asked for help. I needed food in the hospital. I needed people to run my house. I needed people to look after all my rental, blah, blah, blah. And everyone helped me because I asked. I'd never learned how to ask for anything. On this island, you learn how to give and to receive.
Yeah.
And it's magical.
Wicked. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Susie.